Hi guys, let me tell you a quick story about when I was stabbed in London. I was stabbed 6 times, believe it or not. And yeah, the scary thing about my doggy's just come out. What are you doing to me? And Sally's just come out. How did they get out? So I better switch this off. This happened in a period where my mum was undergoing chemotherapy, and I was pissed off, as it were, as you can imagine, pissed off, angry, worried, anxious, whatever. So I was driving along Kilburn High Road, and there was this guy on the inside lane. He was parked on a double yellow line, and so I had to overtake a car on in front of me and go inside onto the inner, there. But he wasn't supposed to park there, so I just kind of beeped at the guy, and then I drove out the way. I was kind of pissed off at the guy, beeped because he shouldn't be parking there. So then I arrived at the traffic lights. So then he came at the traffic lights here. He looked at me, and I just ignored him. And as the traffic lights turned green, he turned in on me, and I just stopped there, and I thought, what the hell is this guy doing? He turned in on me, and I tried to drive around him, and he pinned me over to the other side of the road, and I just got angry. He got out the car and started waving his hands around and saying, "Come on, come on." Um, yeah, so I obliged. I grabbed him and I put him to the floor, but I didn't want to hurt him. I said, "What the hell are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, police are coming. The police are coming." And I thought, no, no police is coming. He just wanted me to turn round, wanted to distract me. So I lifted him up. I put him on my bonnet, and I grabbed him like this, and I made like my fist, like the action of a fist. But I wasn't going to punch him. I just realized, what am I doing? And I just let go, and I said, I was gonna say to him, just, I don't know what I was gonna say to him. At that moment, there was a black guy in his 30s, and he took me away. He said, "No, come on, man, what are you doing?" And as I was explaining to him, "Man, you didn't see what he did. He pinned me in, and he came out of the car. He nearly crashed into me." As I was saying that, this guy moved away suddenly, and it's a young black guy, maybe West Indian guy, not African. Basically, he had his hand like this and peppering me everywhere on my belly. And I thought, what's he doing? I really thought there were punches. So what does it feel like when you get stabbed? That's what it just feels like this. I thought, I kind of thought, is that it? Is that all you've got? So, and he kind of coolly walked away. And I thought, what is he coolly walking away for? I got so angry with him, so I kicked his door, and later my toe fell off, it became black, and it fell off after a few weeks because I kicked his door. I was so angry. But then, as I walked to the car, back to my car, I saw my t-shirt. I had a pool of blood. It was getting bigger and bigger and bigger in my belly area, on my back, because he was going like this, and he stabbed me here on my right hand side. So as I got to the car, I felt dizzy, and I dropped on my knee. And so one woman was screaming, "Oh, he's been stabbed!" I didn't really. I kind of heard that. Then I just ignored it. I went to the car, and Sally's out there, so I have to be careful where she goes. I went to the car and I sat down, and I was bleeding. But my only thought was to go after him, and give him what for. So stupid. So there were two student nurses that came, and they said, "No, you're not going anywhere. You're going to bleed out. You are bleeding. You have multiple puncture wounds. You can't leave." And I said, "Yeah, yeah." So somebody must have called the ambulance, and in fact, there was a black lady, a Jamaican lady, that she put something on me to stop the bleeding, and maybe she saved me because she stopped me from bleeding a lot. I had to go and get Sally because I'm afraid that she's going to jump out of the gate, out of the periphery of the fence. So yeah, this lady, she saved me. And in fact, after all this finished, I went back to I think it's a drugstore, a pharmacy. I went back and I gave her a card and said, thank you very much. She said, "Oh, I thought you died." I said, "No, I'm still here." Yeah, and that's another bloody joke that one of the surgeons made to me when I went to the hospital. He said, "Oh, are you the person that died on Kilburn High Road?" I said, "Yeah, not quite." Yeah. Why do these stupid doctors make these stupid jokes? Anyway, yeah. So the ambulance arrived, and they put a mask on me, and they just took me away. And yeah, there was a policeman in the car, and they wanted to know how it happened, what happened. And I explained to them, but I was feeling really dizzy. I was feeling like panicky, and I couldn't breathe properly, almost fainting. Like I couldn't breathe. I was tired, and I thought, wow, is this the day that I die? I had those thoughts. I thought, I've been stabbed. I can't breathe properly. I'm bleeding out. I'm kind of feeling like I'm going to faint. Am I going? Am I going now? That was like a horrible feeling. Yeah. So as soon as I arrived in the hospital, boom, they put me through these doors, and there was like loads of people waiting. Like there was a bed there. They put me on a bed. They told me to open my arms. I had needles on one side and needles on another side. I don't know what the hell they were doing. There was one lady, she put a liquid inside me. It was morphine. Bloody hell. That stuff is potent. I was sweating, full of anxiety. My blood pressure, my heart was beating. As soon as they injected that thing, it's like that whole room, everything just subsided. And I said to the nurse, "Wow, everything feels so calm." And she smiled. She said, "Yeah, that's morphine." Yeah. So there was a surgeon or a doctor talking to another guy, like whispering, and I thought, what are they talking about? Because they wanted to do they did an X-ray, and I was thinking, no, what are they doing? And then they said they have to prep me for our operation. So everybody left the room, but they cleaned me. I had some holes here in my belly and my back, and like puncture wounds, and they had to prep me, and I didn't know what that meant. So one guy came, he put like a tissue, like those blue tissue towels, on my genital area. I thought, what's he doing? And he said, this won't hurt, don't worry, just a little scratch. And then he took my thing, I can't, my organ, how do you say it? And he pulled it out, and he put inside the urethra, he put some liquid. It was so cold, like he injected it inside. It's not an actual injection, but he injected, and it felt so horrible. Ooh. So basically, that's a numbing solution, and then he put a catheter inside. Bloody hell, that was so horrible. So the feeling was so horrible. It's a feeling that when you go to the toilet when you do a pee, you open that valve to go. You're doing a pee. It's a nice, and you have that nice relief feeling. That is open all the time. It's a weird feeling like you're peeing all the time, kind of. That valve is open. It's like stuck open. It's like you've got that peeing feeling all the time. That's so weird. Maybe because I had the morphine, I didn't. It was really weird that maybe I didn't feel the pain. Maybe it's painful as well. So then they put me in a lift and they took me upstairs to have a CT scan. And so I had two policemen with me in the lift. And I said, "Why do you have to be here?" And he said, I think he said, I'm not sure if this is correct, but he said, "Well, we have to make sure that we don't know, um, what happened. So they have to make sure that the person doesn't come back to finish off the job. And the second reason is they have to witness the death as well." I thought, bloody hell, can't these people be more subtle? Yeah, for someone who's sensitive, like, well, they don't know, but sensitive about death and things like that. Um, yeah, so they did the CT scan, and luckily the knife didn't go into my spleen or my lung on the right hand. Your left hand side. If you're right-handed, you stab someone on their left. So it didn't hit the bottom of my lung, and it didn't hit my spleen because obviously it was like maybe a box cutter or something small. It wasn't a long knife. It was probably something really small, an inch, maybe 2 inch. Could maybe 2 inch. Very small. Yeah. So, or maybe sometimes when they stab you, they juke you. They say so. Instead of killing you, they hold the knife here. They don't want to kill you, so they want to hurt you but not kill you. So maybe that's how they shank people. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, luckily, I oh, and at that time, when I was there, I was on the bed and they were looking after me. The doors could open to the A&E, so you can actually see, you can peek through. And my dad was there, and my uncle, Gregorio, the guy that we've known all these years. Yeah, and I saw my dad, and he started crying. He said when he saw me, he just had a fit of like anxiety. He couldn't help himself because he's not a kind of person to cry. When he saw me, um, when he saw me there. So, oh, there's a nice horse there. Nice, a nice horse there. Yeah. So, yeah. So when they um, when they let me go, I didn't have any clothes. I had just like pajamas because my clothes were soaked in blood, and they were in these plastic thing. It said evidence, whatever, in these plastic. I don't know something. I don't know what it said, but they were in these plastic containers, and they gave it back to me. They gave them back, and I kept it. But then my wife bloody threw it away because she said it's bad luck. It's not a nice thing to say, is it? It's not something that oh yeah, I got stabbed. I'm really proud of it. No, it's a horrible thing. And so, what did I learn from this experience? I learned that the police said to me, if you ever get into a road rage incident, well, first of all, don't get into one, but don't get out of the car. If someone beckons you, if someone says, "Come on then," and says all manner, all bad words to you, don't get out of the car. It's true because your car is your your shell, your protection. Even if someone's got a massive knife, they have to get through that windscreen. You can always drive off, and um, don't take this as advice, but your car is also a weapon. You know, you can, if someone's coming at you with a gun, you could use it as a weapon. You know, or you could use it to get away. But if someone's got a knife, for example, a huge knife, and smashing your window, and you can't drive away, you can at least pin them into another car. Again, not advice here, but I know what I'd do. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. There's no way someone's going to be stabbing me. I saw a video in London of this guy, this black guy. He was crazy. He had a huge knife, absolutely huge knife, and he was stabbing the glass of another guy. I think it was an Asian guy. It was to do with drugs, I think. And he was like literally stabbing away. I don't know how he didn't smash through the windscreen. And I'm thinking, like, people online think that I am a nice person, but in that situation, I think I'd lose it. I'd lose the plot, as they say. And yeah, I'd pin that person in, and I'd go and call the police. I wouldn't, because I know it's only a matter of time. They're going to smash through that windscreen, and then I'll be dead. So you have to do something. You have to run over their feet or something. You have to do something. You're not going to just sit there and allow that person to bully you or kill you. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, the first thing is, like, what I learned from this experience: don't get out of the car, because things can escalate. That person can have a weapon, usually a knife. You can have a gun as well, a hammer, so many things. Yeah, so that's my story of when I was stabbed. I was stabbed 6 times on my right side, on my left side. 2 times on my left side, 2 times here, and luckily he didn't get the artery here in my armpit, because I must have gone like this, and he must have stabbed here. That was so lucky. The main 2 were on this left side, and then on my hands, little scratches. I think it was maybe probably 3 stabs, and then the other 3 were cuts. But they classed it as like 6 stab wounds. Yeah, so I was lucky to be alive. Luckily, that small knife that stabbed me, a box cutter, Stanley knife, it didn't hit an artery, and lucky it wasn't a longer knife. The length wasn't longer, so it could penetrate into my organs. Yeah, so how to avoid that? Don't get angry with people. If you're going to get angry, stay in your car. Don't go out and fight. And I suppose if you're going to go out and fight, always look at your opponent. Look at your opponent, your attacker, your enemy, or whoever it is. Look at their hands. If you look at if you see their hands, if you see this, then you're okay. If you don't see this, or hands closed, what are they holding? If they've got their hands behind their back, what have they got behind their back? Keep your distance. Yeah. So anyway, that's my story, and it's a true story. And yeah, and I studied martial arts in the past. All those rubbish martial arts, really: Aikido, Tai Chi, Wing Chun. But none of them helped me in that situation. So then I started to study self-defense, and I was interested in those kind of things. Maybe I can do that again. Well, anyway, that's my story about when I was stabbed. I wonder if you guys have any similar stories. Have you been stabbed before? Has someone showed you a knife, or have you de-escalated the situation? People who have anxiety, it's a bit more difficult to de-escalate, because when your cup is almost overflowing, your frustration tolerance is very, you can't uh, tolerate much, and so it runs over quickly. It goes over, it spills over. So I suppose if you can maybe take medication or do some meditation, to bring that cup down or that level down, so that if there is any emergency, you have um, leeway. You have enough space there, so you don't go berserk. Well, anyway, that's my story. Let me know in the comments. Like, dislike, subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.